Okay, now we're back. I don't. That one was just a disconnect. Jeez. And for some reason I can't roll his weapon, so I'll just roll his skill. Zero successes, and he critically glitches. So with that, he tries to fire his gun, and the gun just... He's really damaged, too. Mine's a -4. The gun jams, like, completely. It is just...
It is done.
It's not... His gun's just not even working. Crank, on his last initiative pass, will roll another driving test to do a crazy maneuver to get off the highway. Can you do it, my boy? Crank! 2 successes. Alright, so he is able to pull ahead, and we'll say the off-ramp is kind of right here, so he begins to turn into the off-ramp. He should be taking a... Oh, I didn't put that on his character sheet, did I? So he should be taking a -1. Oh, well, and she's at a 1 stun damage. Alright, so he's going to go towards the off-ramp. So at this point, that ends the current round. Normally I would just have you guys exit, but since Saren's still back there, I guess we have to continue the combat round. But at this point, I'm not even going to roll for anybody that's on the armored truck, because they're basically leaving the highway.
Okay. We have nothing to do.
Yeah, so
Mauta
Mauta, Falkirk, and Saren, go ahead and roll for... Let me get rid of all these. Go ahead and roll for initiative, and then, yeah, green guy will roll for initiative.
Do I not get to go again?
Oh, I'm sorry, do you have another... Well, yeah, I guess you can go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and, I guess, take a shot if you want to take a shot at him again.
I will.
You got another pass. Yes, guys, it's 7 and 8.
Not a great shot, but
I agree.
took a shot.
He's pretty damaged, though. Takes... Should be a 9 -4.
Just hanging on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright, so he's actually able to
alright.
dodge a little
Well, that
bit,
was
keep the bike just steady enough.
That was as if you hadn't gone at all, Reese.
Yeah.
Except I lost 1 ammo, so...
Alright, now, yeah, you guys can roll. Just Mauta, Falkirk, and Saren, and then this one troll who's just got...
Very tenacious.
Yeah, he's
He won't let
definitely
go.
do or die.
That was really bad.
Yeah. So was his, though. Jesus.
Alright, Falkirk.
I'm not going low.
No, you're not. You're going before this troll who's been riddled with lightning and bullets. And
literally everything.
Why is he not falling further back because his tire is destroyed?
No, that was the orange guy.
Yeah, he fell back.
Orange guy fell back and got hit by the
worry
body of
about
another
that.
troll. This guy has actually been the only one that hasn't been jacked with, like, vehicle-wise. He's just been shot by everything. Shot and shocked by, like, every kind of damage. And it's funny because Reese does stun damage, it's filled up both tracks kind of together. So
Yeah.
it's like the most inefficient way of damaging him. Like, both those things are filling up.
You should have pulled out your throwing knives, or you should have thrown knives at him.
Alright, so I assume you're
Throw my
attacking
shoe
him.
at him. Yeah.
Let's see, where's he? One
Yes!
success. Alright, yeah. He's at a -4. So that would be 10 damage.
Wow.
He has to resist with his +4. He resists 8, but that is 2 stun damage, which will fill up his stun monitor track. So,
He finally gives up the ghost.
very
Too
anticlimactically,
much.
the darts come flying out from the truck, hit him square in the chest, and finally he just very quietly and slowly slumps over. And As he does, he actually, since he slumps over quite calmly, the bike just immediately takes over its pilot program and just calmly like slides into this lane with his comatose body just kind of laying there. Saren, you are next.
What do I have to do now?
I would suggest driving.
Yep.
Can't my pilot program just take over?
You could enter in a pilot program to exit at the off ramp, yes. If you want to just wave that
I have
off.
a better idea. Find a ramp and try to hit the other 4 trolls.
Jump all the vehicles.
Go after them. Just
Are you not entertained? Alright, so that's you can enter in the pilot program for that pass. Mauta, you are next. Go ahead and roll another driving skill to get to the off ramp.
hey, that's it. I wish-
4 successes. Alright, so you were able to completely catch up, keep the truck in your views. I'm moving you guys here. You guys are exiting the highway at this point.
Okay.
At manual speeds, but with a 4 success, you were able to take that turn and stick right close to the armored truck. So at that point, this guy is now unconscious. So you guys are exiting the off-ramp, and Saren will be joining you shortly. By the time, Saren, you reach the off-ramp, you hear the motorcycles coming up behind you. But I assume you're going to switch over to manual once you hit the off-ramp, or do you want to try to just key in the route that on the map that you got?
I'm afraid to roll for pilot.
Yeah.
Alright, what happens if I roll? What do I get if I succeed? I just catch up or what?
Yeah, I mean, basically, just, I mean, if you glitch or something, then that's going to be bad, but...
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, if you can get a 2 or more, you can eventually catch up to them, but you'll stay ahead of the bikes. If you get a 1, then you'll maintain control of the vehicle, and the bikes will start catching up.
Alright, here we go.
What? Okay.
That's
Not the worst
also a
thing.
glitch.
Oh, that's a glitch too. Yeah.
You want to use the edge? Because this could get interesting.
Do it.
You
Just
attempt
use
to switch over to manual.
I don't know how much you got left.
Yeah, I'll use the edge. I'll just do +5.
Alright.
I
The
like
+5, I will
That
let
should
you...
really catch up, right?
Yeah, just force you to use edge in all these rolls. Yeah, with the +5 edge, you were able to slam the accelerator and eventually catch up to those guys before... you still hear the other bikers coming at you from behind the highway, but none of them get close enough to actually fire off any shots. You hit off-ramp, and you can hear them actually exiting the off-ramp, but then you catch up to the other vehicles. Let me switch over to other scene here.
I'd like to use a free action and talk over the comlink and tell everybody that it sounds like we got more trouble coming behind us.
Yeah. Crank says, just hang on and follow me, follow the path, follow the map I gave y'all. You hear his voice kind of coming in very adrenaline-fueled as he's still operating on manual controls at not crazy high speeds, but definitely higher than normal speeds. So the armored truck careens through the last turn at a fairly tight speed, half the wheels leaving the asphalt for a split second as the truck rocks from the inertia before settling down. Ursula, I assume you are bracing yourself wholeheartedly at this point.
I actually, on that last turn, I wanted to close the door, but I forget if I actually had it on last turn or not. I think in that last turn I actually shot a lightning bolt, so I didn't have a chance.
Yeah, you've still got the...
Oh, yes, I'm
but
still
you're
down
kind of
here.
in... Yeah, you're... Alright. You whip past various danger and do not enter signs as the tunnel's entrance looms before you, a few flickering lights illuminating an otherwise dark cave. The armored truck never hesitates as it crashes through all the plastic barriers in front of the entrance and begins to turn north onto the tunnel. You guys enter with only barely hearing the bikes behind you. Saren, you enter just as you see you come across the tunnel just as you see the truck that Mount is driving enter the tunnel. And as you follow suit, you really hear the bikers come up and actually start hearing some shots. But then you enter the cave and turn in there, and you hear the bikes come up to it. But then as you go farther off, the bikes actually recede. So you can turn around and you kind of notice that none of them seem to be entering the tunnel. So the noise of the bikes eventually fades as you guys enter into the tunnel, which Crank sends you a picture of. This is a picture of kind of how the tunnel was supposed to work when it was first being constructed.
I don't think Crank is driving hands-free.
That was like a double-decker tunnel.
It is. This is a fun fact. Well, I guess I'll go after when we do our recap, but this is the actual thing they're building in Seattle. This is the Alaskan Way Viaduct. So this is a double-decker tunnel so one side goes one direction. So it's pretty. In other words, it's pretty small because it's double-decker. So you guys are able to enter. You're actually entering on the top side and then going north. But this is pretty destroyed area. Let's see. So for several heart-pounding minutes, you crawl along the tunnels at a greatly reduced speed. Abandoned cars and debris are lit up only by the occasional overhead lamps in your own vehicle headlights, which the overhead lamps are kind of flickering, so there's very much an oppressive darkness happening. You see no signs of life, just utter destruction around you, and your car engines echo off the tunnel walls. At this point, Crank comes through in the comm link, and you hear kind of like a it's very loud static sound and a bzz, bzz, kind of as he's talking. He's like, I think bzz, comm link, bzz, breaking, bzz, interfere, bzz, and then it just continues to be static.
Is there a rating of comlink that would prevent that from happening?
At this point, it's not an attack. It's not somebody trying to jam it. It's just literally you guys being underground. So it's more like, well, I'll let you roll for your comlink. If you guys want to roll for your device ratings.
I don't know.
If you have a device rating for your comlink. Roll, do your device...
I don't want to, because...
It's the cheapest...
I would break it.
Okay, so you immediately pull the comlink out of your ear. Yeah. To do that, just whatever your device rating is, do that times 2 and roll that many dice. If you can roll a 3 or higher, I'll let you retain the use of your comlink, but...
So if we have a device rating of 1, we roll 2 dice?
Correct.
So, should anybody roll?
That's what I was afraid of.
Mine's I think mine's a 3.
Ironically, yours could work, but if nobody else's works, then...
Mm-hmm. So, mine's a 3, so that...
roll 6 dice, yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, so yours
2
is...
glitches!
Yeah.
Might make it 3.
Yours starts giving off a weird popping sound. You immediately have to pull it out of your ear because it's like getting hot.
And it hurts.
And it hurts, yeah.
Okay, so comlink's just not working. Is that the general idea?
So right now, the armored truck is in the lead. And then the JT's truck is right behind that. We'll have to name this truck something. And then Saren is kind of plugging along on the bike, I guess. You guys haven't really come to a stop yet. Although, the truck...
Can I roll gymnastics to try to jump on their truck?
Shut up. Just let me finish. Well, it's coming to a stop, so hang on. The armored truck... Literally my next sentence. The armored truck comes to a sudden stop at a destroyed section of the tunnel.
Oh dear. God damn it, Craig. I knew this was a bad idea. I knew it was a bad idea as soon as he said it.
The right half of the road appears to be a gaping hole, which drops down to presumably the south side of the tunnel. The left half has just enough room for a single vehicle to continue on, but is currently blocked by a sideways truck half covered in rubble. And then once again, those of you that still have your comm links in your ear, you kind of just hear static coming through, and then you notice Crank and Lapis actually just come out of the vehicle. They bring the vehicle to a stop, park it, turn it off, and they're jumping out. You guys should have control of your guys. You can decide if you want to... Oops, I forgot to put you in a bike. Saren, but let's assume you jump off, and Saren, as soon as you do, your bike just, like, completely dies. It has given up the ghost. Yeah.
That last push I did just overdid it.
Yeah. It was not in good shape before. It managed to serve you well, but it's pretty much dead. So you guys have control of your guys, right? That's my copy and pasted correctly. Okay. So at this point, Crank and Lapis get out. Lapis just kind of walks a little bit over here. Crank gets out, walks kind of back to where you guys are.
I close the back door of the truck.
As you step out, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, you guys can only see basically a flickering overhead light above you, and then I'm going to try to give you guys vision a little bit as you move around, but I'm not going to be able to do it constantly because that's going to be a nightmare for me with the way they're... Because I don't actually have the Fog of War system. I have just a different system I have to use. There is apparently a dynamic...
low light vision stuff?
That could come into play if you have any kind of vision enhancements. That can certainly help with perception tests, anything else happening in the dark.
I think both trolls and elves have low light vision in general, don't they?
Yeah. That sounds right.
I wasn't asking about you.
Can I see in the dark too?
Oh wait, don't my goggles let me see in the dark?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, no,
check your inventory.
I don't have.
I think you basically have night vision goggles.
Right, I have goggles.
Um,
Vision magnification, low light vision, and flare compensation.
Okay, so low light vision, yeah. Which I assume low light vision is basically a type of night vision.
Yes.
Alright, so yeah, Crank taps his ear and he says, damn, comm links don't work down here, I was afraid of that. Well...
Should I punch him in the face?
Punch Crank in the face. You can walk up and like smack him upside the head. So yeah, you step out of the vehicle, Crank comes up to you, starts talking, you just come up and just thwack him right across the face. He looks a little stunned and reels back. Looks kind of hurt, and then just looks kind of shaken and says like, yeah, I probably deserved that. That was not my best effort, but hey, I got us off the highway, didn't I?
Lucky I don't shoot you, kid.
Yeah, no one did that.
Says, well, the good news is we got away from the spikes. The bad news is, he gestures at the blockage in front of the truck. Says, it shouldn't be too much of a problem to get out of the way with some of you guys helping move it, but I would like to take this time to patch the truck up, because the alignment's all shot to hell, the back tires are riding low, and frankly I don't know what kind of damage that fucking explosive, whatever that was, on the side of the truck, and he kind of glares at Lapis. Or tries to glare. I guess you can't really see her that well. Put her over there.
Should have a black eye after I hit him.
There's a bruise starting to form. And he's like, so I'm gonna try to work on the truck. If anybody has any automotive skills, they can help me. Otherwise, just try and keep an eye out and move that truck out of the way if you can.
I don't have any automotive skills, but I do have I guess a skill kit. I guess that wouldn't help him at all, would it?
He's like, I'll definitely take any tools you have would help immensely, because I'm afraid. And he walks over here and he's like, looks like the explosion took out a good chunk of the where I kind of have like the tools and because kind of like the cab had like a back seat to the cab, and that part took a big chunk of that explosion. So
yeah, I'll toss him one of my automotive skill kits.
Okay. So he will walk over. Actually, he'll walk over where Ursiv is. If you can move to a different. Well, I'll put him on the truck. It's easier. So he's going to be working on the truck. What do the rest of you guys want to do? Lapis is going to be walking over here, just kind of looking around.
Can I use my handheld scanner?
You can. What does that do?
It's an atmosphere scanner and Geiger counter.
Okay.
I don't know.
Roll.
That's interesting.
Roll the device. It's the same thing as the roll we just did. Do the device times 2 for your how many d6s?
Okay. I have it as a 2 out of 3. Does that mean anything, or
Does it not have a device rating with it? Thought I had a device rating.
I would like to roll for swimming.
What are you swimming in?
Just kidding. Whenever I get a chance, I want to roll for perception to see if I hear anything.
Let's see, where was gear? Yeah, something like that should have a device rating. It's, I guess, my bad for not telling you it. Something.
Since I have low light vision, can I just turn and look at your monitor to see what's on the screen?
No.
Then how are you gonna show me?
Well, hang on. You guys got to be deciding what you're going to be doing first. If you're.
I'm putting my goggles on.
All right.
I'm perceiving.
I'm moving rubble.
So you're moving over to the truck. What the fuck was that?
Oh shit, I perceive nothing.
Oh, it says
Don't go rolling without asking me, because there are modifiers involved in everything.
Oh.
capacity 2, atmosphere sensor 3. Maybe that's why I wrote that down.
What is the actual thing called?
Handheld scanner.
Device sensor function.
I play cat.
Handheld device, max sensor rating of 3. Let's just call it a device rating of 3 then.
Okay. So 3 times 2.
Yeah, so actually you can roll 6. And I'll try and come up with a better rule for that in the future, but that's our rule now. Okay, so you can determine, it actually can't sense any weather down here other than just saying it's, it gives you a general readout and says that it's really dusty and dry down here. Doesn't appear to be a whole lot of wind. And the Geiger counter reads no amount of radiation down here at all.
Alright.
And the way I'm gonna do. Oh, Mr. Kitty. Let's see. So Crank is doing automotive repairs, which I'm gonna actually roll his skill for that and attempt to repair the vehicle as an extended test. And he gets a +2 since you gave him the tools. He rolls 1 success. So this is a extended test, which means it'll be cumulative as he rolls. As time passes, he'll continuously roll in order to get like more successes, and that will kind of determine like how much he can heal the repairs on the truck. So a few minutes go by. What's everybody doing right now?
I was trying to perceive if there's any, I could hear anything else in the area.
Do you have any kind of vision aids at all?
No. I just have cyber eyes that are rating 3, but that's not night vision, I don't think.
Are they? Yeah, are they enhanced with anything that gives specifically night vision?
No. Not right
Okay.
now.
So you would take a -3 for
-3.
for the vision.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter because I didn't get any hits anyway.
Okay. So yeah, you don't spot anything right now. Ursa, you said you were moving towards the truck to try and maybe move it.
I'm moving the rubble out of the way, trying to.
Okay. You can start doing that gingerly. Mouta and Falkirk, what are you guys doing?
Told you, I got my goggles.
Okay, so you're just on like general watch, or
Yeah, but I can't see nothing because my screen's black.
well.
You won't let me look at yours.
Which way are you specifically perceiving? Or are you just kind of taking a sweep? And where are you like sitting?
I am behind the truck that's in the way,
Okay,
so I'm looking, trying to see what's past the truck.
you're looking in this direction.
Yes.
Okay. What is I'll go back to that in a second. Falkirk, what are you doing?
Perceiving to my below me to the south.
This direction.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you have low light with his elf or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bring out
Christ.
just like this giant laser eyes.
Yeah.
We all see your eyes like shoot into the darkness. It'll light up.
Yeah. Go ahead and.
That's
He sees everything.
you suddenly have a vision of the future.
That's kind of the
The
area you're looking
environment
at.
rolls an 8 though.
Over here, you notice there is a hole in the wall and appears to be like just pitch blackness beyond it. There appear to be there's rubble on the ground and also a with 7 successes. There's a foul stench emanating from that hole as well.
Guys, my nose works again.
Huzzah!
Just follow my nose. Mouta, go ahead and roll your perception skill, which you can also negate the negative modifier.
Oh, uh-huh.
So just roll it like normal. Normally there's a -3 for doing it in the dark, but you have your goggles on, so. Like a rainbow.
That's great.
0 perception. All right. So at the moment you don't notice anything coming from this side of the tunnel. Ursa, if you're still working on the rubble.
Yep.
So the problem mainly, I don't know if you can see right here. Can you guys see the hole that's kind of right here?
I can't see
Yeah.
a hole.
Not
Alright.
really, I just see the rubble.
Yeah, I'll reveal a little more since you're closer
I
now.
mean, it looks like the truck is hanging off of it.
Alright, Ursiv, since you are decently close to here, we'll reveal that much.
I didn't reveal anything.
Yeah, I don't see any change. Which
We
dude?
revealed a large part of the hole.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that blackness a hole?
It was-
Sorry, yeah, that should be a hole, yeah.
Whatever it is.
Okay. I thought that was part of the.
Alright, if you can
the-
tell that, maybe?
There we
Okay.
go.
There's
The
a
floor
hole.
just
there.
dipped massively.
Yeah.
Else you
I'm
couldn't
trying
tell.
to, I know, that Roll20, apparently if you become a subscriber, you can actually get dynamic lighting, which works a lot better for this kind of thing. So I'm trying to work with the Fog of War system I've got, which is not terribly elegant, but... yeah, let me know with what... So there definitely is, you guys can
Wow.
see a hole here, and then this is the path of the actual...
Thank you.
yeah, so...
Somebody fell out hole.
That's fantastic.
So recognizing that that's a hole, there's no way we're going to get through here anyway. So what's the purpose of moving the rubble out of the way?
Not the rubble, but the vehicle here that seems to
car.
be...
Yeah.
So there is some rubble on the vehicle as well as the car like being sideways. But you notice the car is obviously not on top of the
Alright.
hole. It is on top of...
All right. Then Ursa is going to try to push the car over to the side.
Okay. Probably going to start picking some rubble off of it first, but...
Yeah, I'll do that until it's clear.
Alright, so that one is going to be a... That is a body plus strength. Just a straight attribute test.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, and this is also kind of an extended test. This is kind of something you can do over time. But every shove, you're going to have to resist some stun damage because it is like you're exerting a lot of energy to do this.
Okay.
Don't pop a hernia.
Yeah, it's not going to be just resist.
2. I moved it 2 units.
Yeah, whatever the units are. Roll your body. That is drawn. Okay. Which way are you shoving it, by the way?
Roll your body.
Wow, that's pretty good for just 4.
Okay, so you
to
won't
the
take any
side.
stun damage.
I don't know how wide is this lane. Like,
Okay, since you're over here looking around, I'll reveal.
So if I shove it to the north of what we're looking at, even if I shove it as far as we can go, our truck still won't be able to make it through, right?
It would be pretty damn tight.
So I need to shove it towards the hole.
Into the hole.
Into the hole, yeah, essentially. All right, so yes,
or
I get
just
behind
further.
The car.
I mean,
I
this
get over
is-
here.
Okay.
Yeah, into the. I try to push it like south.
Okay.
Can I just get in the car and drive it away?
The car is it is completely like stripped from the inside. It looks like
Okay.
it's actually it's only
I
got
didn't think about checking the car to see if it works.
yeah. Saren magically teleports over there, checks the car, and teleports back apparently. So you're able to move the truck basically. It's kind of to there.
Okay.
All right, well, he's doing that. What are the rest of y'all doing? I'll go ahead and crank roll another automotive test as well.
Falkirk rolls a curiosity check, and
What
it
is that?
passes. And he goes investigates the foul stench.
Oh.
He passes a curiosity check. All right, so you can walk over there. If I can. Oh shit! It's... Wait, am I drawing? I don't mean to be
Do you
drawing.
smell
Crap! How do I delete that?
really bad stench? Saren,
Smells pretty bad.
it does smell bad.
It's the stench of
I don't know
1,000
that.
deaths. All right, well, you're doing that. What are the rest of you guys doing? Trying to keep everybody like doing everything at once. Meanwhile, Lapis is going to come over to actually where Ursiv is. She's got her sword strapped to her back, and she will attempt to aid Ursiv on the next push. She kind of nods at him wordlessly.
What do you think, Falkirk? Rotten egg?
So Saren's with Falkirk. Mauta, what do you want to be doing?
I'll come over and help push too.
Okay, are you no
Dead
longer
bodies?
watching? You're just going to be pushing?
Yeah.
Sounds like my
Okay.
grandma.
Ooh, what's wrong with your grandma? She's sick?
She's been dead quite a while.
I don't know what's going
Could
on.
be what that is, then.
I don't want to know what my life is like.
Is this why you got away to become a
Yeah, we
street
lost
runner?
Christopher. I'm gonna have all you got.
Shadowrunner?
You and Ursiv do another. It's body plus strength, so it's actually just 2 attributes together.
Six.
I can understand trying to get away.
I'll get back to you guys in a second. I'm trying to do both of them at once.
There you go.
Nice.
I don't actually have a grandmother.
Oh, what? Then whose dead body are you talking about?
And Lapis.
Exactly.
Ooh, so that's why you got away.
And strength is 10 dice. Oh shit! It is crank. I meant to use Lapis. Oh well. So that was actually Lapis also shoving. So her and Mauta, go ahead and Ursiv roll body and strength again.
Okay.
You rolled
I know.
straight,
Yeah, I
huh?
didn't mean to. So I forgot to switch it over. But it was this. I rolled her stat for sure. He didn't have that strength, obviously.
She's stronger than you, Ursa.
Another 2.
So Ursiv and Mauta,
Doing a -2.
roll your just your body stat to resist the strain from doing this. Switch.
Okay.
So we didn't push the card
You
off?
are pushing it. Sorry, yeah, you're definitely pushing it. But I'm just doing the drain of having to push it first. So get the numbers right first.
Jesus, I got 0.
Ah.
Destroying.
Okay. Mauta and Lapis resist. Or Sev, you're gonna take 1 stun damage from the exertion.
Alright.
You guys are able to shove the truck.
Got a lot of stun damage.
You guys are having to move with the truck, so I'm kind of moving you.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, just kind of with it. You guys are kind of all bunched up together, basically, but the truck is definitely, at this point, almost completely out of the way. There's a little bit of edge there.
Since the truck moved, can we see anymore?
Yeah, so there's gonna be multiple things happening at once.
Things are gonna happen.
Things are gonna happen. Which will be a nice cliffhanger for the end of this session too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bugs are gonna come out of the hole and drag me down in there. So I'm the one standing next to it.
So I'm gonna have Ursiv and Mauta roll for perception, and also Falkirk and Saren roll for perception to see.
Yeah, everybody roll for perception.
Yeah.
Double
So
win.
Well, I
something
mean-
bad is about to happen.
And
Do I have a mod?
Saren,
Hey,
yeah,
now.
Saren, you have the -3 modifier, yeah.
Let me change
Minus
that.
7,
My bad.
minus 3.
Because
see in the dark.
yeah, she can't see in the dark. She
right.
doesn't have the equipment.
So, Reese, you see everything. Rest of us,
I see one thing.
you see one thing.
And
So
yeah,
do
so
I.
Ursiv rolled a 1, yeah, Saren rolled 0, Falkirk. Okay, I'll do it in the order in which we got the higher. So Falkirk. So as you guys are now kind of down here, you step in there. Falkirk, immediately your basically spider sense starts tingling as you essentially have the 4 perception. You notice the
My
foul
Native American
stench.
elf sense.
Yeah, the foul stench gets very heavy, and you hear a sudden sound of like scrabbling, as if like claws on ground, kind of a
I'm gonna
sound.
punch Frank again.
Crank's back there working on the truck. And Saren, you actually have no idea what's going on.
Can I like shoot out my hand to Saren to stop her from going any further forward?
Yeah, you can do that as a free action for sure.
Yeah.
Communication is key.
Communication is key. So you can also use a free action. You guys are in the dark hole at this point. You, like I said, Falkirk, you hear the scrabbling sound. The stench is like super bad in here. And then you suddenly hear a kind of very dry, raspy, like groaning, growling sound. And how do you wish to react to
I
that?
wish to signal to Saren to back away slowly.
I'm gonna have you and
Quietly.
yeah. At this point, Saren can even actually hear what's going on. Even Saren can hear this. I'm gonna have both you guys roll for composure, which I believe is on your character sheet.
Composure.
Yeah, for being in a dark place and having scary sounds around you.
Yep,
Oh,
that's right. Not bad.
Yeah. All right, you guys are both able to retain your wits as this is happening.
nice.
That is frightening, Saren.
What do you? How do you guys want
That's
to
ready
react to
back.
this? Are you sitting there readying weapons? Are you falling back? How's it? You guys get
We're
an
complimenting each other.
an at you. All right, as you guys are complimenting each other, yeah.
I'll pull
Me-
my weapon.
Yeah. Meanwhile, as this is happening, let's see, what did you guys roll? Ursiv and Mauta. Oh.
I got one.
Yeah, you guys can hear a shuffling sound in the distance coming from this direction.
Crap.
Yeah, so at this point, is anybody going to look in that direction, or...
I guess I will.
I guess... Oh, Chris is not even there, okay. Assume Ursiv and you, everybody's going to kind of snap over there.
Do I have to roll anything?
Yeah, go and roll perception again. This time, get a +2 modifier, since now you are specifically looking at a certain point and trying to discover its source.
Yeah, look, I got a 0.
Wow. 4 + 2 is 0. Okay. I will actually roll for Chris then, since I can do that. Well, actually, I can't do it as Ursiv. I don't have control. I can do it as a GM.
He has a -2 penalty.
Well, yeah, I'll roll it on his character sheet, which should come into play. Let's see if it does. 6 - 2 is 3 successes. Okay. So Ursiv will notice. I guess I could roll for Lapis, and she's right there also. You like the spooky music I got going?
I really like it a lot, yeah.
Lapis is an elf, so... Okay, so... Mauta, I guess you're looking over there, but you can't maybe quite see across the truck. You're kind of on the far side. Lapis and Ursiv notice... it's too bad Chris is missing this, because he's directly involved. Kind of see at least that far. Oops. Select GM overlay. Okay. Alright, so Ursiv and Lapis managed to spot a distinct humanoid form moving in the darkness, just kind of starting to enter the vision, still pretty much in the darkness because the overhead lamp is more over here, so the edge of it is probably right wherever it was initially, like here. But for your guys' line of sight, you see it. The person tentatively enters your vision. You notice their odd gait and state of dress. They appear to be half shambling in your general direction. Its gray skin appears stretched and leathery, pulled too tight over an emaciated skeleton. Only a few wisps of hair remain on its head, along with a random assortment of tattered rags. The creature suddenly appears to cock its head to the side, snap its head in your direction, and begins lumbering forward with astonishing speed. So Ursiv, you actually spotted this one. I rolled your perception.
Excellent.
Yeah, you and Lapis, as you move the truck over, you see this creature, and then as that's happening, the same description I just fed you guys, Falkirk, you notice a pair of those creatures suddenly right in front of you in the blackness, as you guys were kind of steadying each other, I guess.
We were so quiet and careful.
Yeah. So what I'll do, just for the sake of...
Some zombies? Emaciated creatures?
Does anybody have any kind of creature knowledge, or I don't know what would be applicable here? Life forms?
Nope.
Biology?
You could probably use a little bit of biology to determine. I mean, I'm sure you studied creatures, so go ahead and roll your knowledge. Oh dear. As far as you can tell, they look like monstrous gray-skinned humanoids.
What about security tactics? I'd have to know how to fight them, right?
Typically, you don't have to run into these guys. You guys would know, just from a Shadowrun universe, that these are ghouls, which are, in Shadowrun, not undead. They are humans that are inflicted with a terrible, basically a virus, that causes them to feed on flesh, and...
security tactics would still require me to know how to fight them.
most of them go feral. Kind of like basically the Fallout ghouls, essentially.
Right.
Most of them are feral.
This virus isn't too contagious.
Yeah, their claws get like long and sharp. Tend to live on the fringes of society, that kind of thing.
Come on.
Well, I'm telling you guys all the information right now.
Ghoulish tea parties together.
You would know that they're also mostly blind, if not completely blind, because their eyes actually go like completely milky. So they sense by smell and sight, or not sight. What's the other one? Hearing. Smelling and sound.
That one.
Yes. So you guys, I just moved you back because of the. Well, I can move you up here. You guys are technically still in the dark hole when these guys emerge upon you, and the three of you have this guy, this one ghoul you see coming lumbering up from the darkness next to the truck. So that is actually where we're going to end tonight's session because it is a perfect ending spot.
Cliffhanger?
Yes, the
Will
cliffhanger.
Will our heroes escape this travail?
Tune in next week. And see if Crank can fix that truck. But also if the rest of you can fight off some ghouls. So next week we will start in with the combat and the initiative. Because I know we just haven't had enough combat.
I'd like to ask Falkar, is this your grandmother?
How dare you?
It sure smelled like her.
Alright, so thank you to Chris, Heather, Raymond, and Reese. I am Eric. We'll see you guys next week, next Sunday, for more Shadowrun 5th edition online role-playing live streaming goodness. Right here on Twitch TV/Gorbash722. See you guys later.